Hey, thanks for tuning in. We are LivingFit, your trainer's trainer. We not only have education courses for trainers to upgrade their game, but we have full-on follow-along programs, workouts, exercise breakdowns, nutrition plans, and fitness equipment for you to reach your fitness goals. Now, enjoy the show.
What's going on? This is Marcus Martinez from the LivingFit Show from Kettlebell Kings, and I've got the incredible Jacquelyn Umof. So Jacquelyn is an amazing yoga instructor, mover, shaker on the Instagram and social media world. So I wanted to have her on here to talk about living fit, what it means to live fit, and how well she moves and how she got to that point. So first and foremost, thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming to the beach on this terribly sunny, beautiful day in California. But tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, what got you into being this sought-after yoga instructor?
Yeah, so it's interesting. I never started out wanting to be a yoga instructor. I mean, I started moving when I was really young. I was a ballerina. I tried to do gymnastics. My mom pulled me out because she thought it was too dangerous. I was really mad at her. And so then she put me in ballet because she's like, here, this is a much safer sport. You know, you won't break your neck on the vault, things like that. So I only did gymnastics for like 6 months, but I knew I loved moving right from there. And I just have always been a mover. And I think from ballet training, it was like I really learned how to move my body and control my body. And it was the most amazing experience when I started to get more advanced and I could see how the dedication paid off. And it really taught me that, like, if you stick with something long enough, you will make the progress that you want to, and you will create the strength that you want to. It's just a matter of like showing up and doing the drills every single day. As monotonous as it might feel, it's like it now, you know, if I wanted to learn how to do a handstand, it's like, you know, that there's a process, there's a step-by-step process for everything that you want to do. And if you stick with it, give it enough time, you will get there. So I felt, so I was doing that. And then I was a dancer at college. I went to USC, became a Song Girl there. And then that got me into like the professional dancing world afterwards. Oh, wow. You know, after college, I had like an agent, and I was doing the whole Hollywood and going in for dance auditions, these cattle calls with like 1,000 people. And it was just such a crazy experience. But, you know, I got some cool jobs like working at Disney or like, you know, Disney commercials and stuff. And then I started dancing for, I went to the NBA, and then I was a Clipper girl, and then I was a Laker girl. And yeah, so then people, you know, on Instagram were like, how are you so flexible? How are you so flexible? Because I would start posting pictures of myself on the beach doing dance poses. So I started just teaching people how to do the splits and stuff like that. And I would see yoga poses and I would imitate them. And
so
then
dance.
Yeah, so it all came from dance, yeah. So for me, yoga, I felt like I needed to learn yoga because people kept thinking I was doing yoga, and I was like, I don't even know yoga. I should go learn this stuff. And at first I thought it was really boring because it was like all stretching and meditating, and I was so antsy and anxious, and I was like, this is so incredibly boring. I want to move more, you know? But then, you know, I had like a quarter life crisis. I was like 25, 26, and just had like really bad panic attacks and anxiety. And I'm laughing now, but like it was pretty serious. And then that got me into, okay, what's going on in my mind? I need to really figure this out. Thank God at the same time I was getting into yoga, and it really taught me to be present, to be able to control my mind, and be present. Because when you're present and you're moving your body, there's absolutely no way you can be anxious and have those kinds of feelings. So that's what keeps me moving every day.
Wow, that's awesome.
Long story short.
So much to unpack right there. Yeah, I mean, it just shows the power of the mind in living fit. You know, we think of living fit as like just moving your body and being able to bend yourself and contort yourself in a bunch of different positions. But if you don't have things sound up there, all the movement in the world isn't going to matter.
Yeah, that's true.
So how did you see the yoga help, or how did you see the dancing help your yoga? How did you feel like that?
Oh my gosh.
You kind of did it backwards. I feel like a lot of people start with, you know, yoga, and then they're like, oh, I'm going to go dance.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so I think, I learned, number one, disciplined. I was, you know, when I was in ballet training, it was like 3 hours every day. So it's just that discipline, just being really in tune with my body, just really learning how to control. I mean, ballet is the most you know, it's so strong and graceful and soft, but it's like you're learning how to like lift your leg up and hold it in this position and slowly bring it down. So it's like I learned ultimate control of like how to activate all these like little muscles inside of me. And I think like I'm able to deliver that or like articulate that to my students. I think that's like one of the biggest things they always say is like, you always help me really like find the muscles in my body that I didn't know I had, or you told me like how to control it. So I think that definitely helps with yoga, because sometimes we're just trying to get to a pose in yoga. And I think people really forget the transition. It's like the little in between like going from downward dog to plank pose. Like what should that feel like? It's not just like here to here. Like dance is actually all about the transition of like how you can make it look really beautiful from one pose to like what is everything that it takes to go from like down, I'm trying to do like down dog to, you know, plank.
That's just a universal sign language for down dog.
Yeah, right? Like this to plank.
That's so funny that you mentioned the transition, because have you ever seen Pumping Iron with Arnold? I mean, there's no reason you would have.
No.
It's like a bodybuilding movie in the 70s.
Oh.
Of Arnold and all these professional bodybuilders. The first scene, Arnold and Franco Columbu, very famous bodybuilders, they're in a ballerina studio and they're working with this ballet dancer. And she's having them like holding on to the bar, doing these different positions. And this was in the 70s. And these were like giant muscular guys.
Yeah.
And she talks about, remember, when you're on stage and you're posing, because they were going to pose for the shows, they're not watching you, you know, do one position, then the next position. They're watching your transition. They're watching you move from position to position.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
I love that, because I use that every time I've taught a course in kettlebell flow. Because it's not just about doing one movement or another movement. It's about how fluid you can kind of go back and forth.
Yeah.
So how do you feel like that kind of worked into your yoga? You feel like that's how your flows work? You're not a big like hold a position for 8 minutes type person?
No, I mean, so every now and then, yes, because what I've learned now is like when you hold a position for that long, you can actually, it's a really quick way to access your subconscious mind, which is really interesting. It's like
you hold a position.
Yeah, when you hold a position, because the body overloads. And when the body overloads, that's like when you can actually access your subconscious mind. And so I've been like studying the mind and hypnosis and things like that. So it's like really interesting. So when I do that, like I'll try to like, you know, really empower people during that time, because you know that it's like a time for them to rewire their brain. So I love doing that. But I think like for the like going from the transition, it's like, it's total body recruitment. That's when it turns into total body, because you have to activate so many different muscles to control it, like in so many different places in the body. So it's like coordination, it's like total body recruitment as far as the muscles go. You are working your whole body. So it's not just like, you know, just doing one thing at a time.
Bicep yoga workout.
Yeah, and then it's also there's no bicep workout. Yeah.
I just want to toe my arms. I just want to toe my arms though.
Yeah, I just want to toe my arms. I know, and it's like, well, we'll do an arm toning movement, but then it's like, but that's what I always say. I was like, well, we get a bonus ab workout or a bonus like back workout or leg workout. So it's like, you know, we can focus on one area, because sometimes it is too much for people's minds to try to activate all that at the same time. But then we can like start to work all these muscles too. So I love it, because I feel like it's the most effective use of your time, because you're using so many muscles. And
to do a yoga practice?
Yeah, to do a yoga practice. Yeah, exactly.
So how long is your yoga practice every day? What is your like, and then I'll ask how we can start, because most people are gonna be like, I'm not gonna do this for 3 hours. But
yeah,
what is like your practice right now?
My practice, gosh, right now, I love variety. So I'm doing something different every day. So it's like, I'm not just doing yoga, because, you know, I love to dance. I love to move. I love to surf. So some days I'll be here surfing. This is actually my favorite surf spot right here. Or I'll do it like this morning. I did a HIIT workout. Anything that's like body weight training. I love body weight. So sometimes I'll do Pilates and just really like try to focus on my core. But even when I'm focusing on my core, it's like my inner thighs work, my arms work. So I can't say that I'm like, yeah, the core of my body. So I'm not like doing just yoga every single day. I think everyone thinks that I'm just like on the beach doing yoga all day. And I'm like, no.
Social media portrays, it's like, people are always going to see what you post and be like, they're going to assume that's just who you are all the time.
Yeah.
So obviously you're just going around doing yoga poses every day. It's like, yeah, that's
Yeah, and it's like I don't do that every day, but I would say I don't know. I don't even really do, like, when I get to my mat, I don't even do like traditional yoga. It's like I'll just move my body, or I'll just work on a handstand.
Kind of instinctive, intuitive training.
Yeah, exactly.
Where you just kind of move. How long are your sessions typically?
I don't know. I'm not a very like rigid person. It's like, I don't know, 30 minutes or so. But like right now I'm really working on pull-ups. So I'll do like I'm trying to do a lot of upper body stuff. And then sometimes, so it's like I'll go until I'm fatigued kind of. And then some days I'm like, I'm just going and I can really feel it. And I'm like, I'll go for like an hour and a half. So I really do listen to my body as far as that goes. And I'm like, where can I kind of push myself today? But like yesterday, I just did a walk for like an hour and a half.
Walking is the most overrated.
Overrated?
You didn't let me finish.
That sounded like me.
You did not let me finish. Didn't let me finish. Overrated for the older population and underrated for the younger population. Because for the older population, what do they say?
Gosh.
Like if I call my mom, like, oh, did you do anything? Like, oh, I walked. I'm like,
you
need some strength training.
Yeah.
Walking's fantastic.
That is actually very true. My mom does go on a walk every day. She's I did my walk. And I'm like, but you need to do something for your shoulders or biceps. Like, let's work those muscles.
Yeah, exactly.
And then that's true. I'm telling my students, like, just go on a walk.
Exactly. Because then we're like, walk, that's not a workout. Like, I got to run. I got to get my heart rate to 75%. Like, no,
That's
walk.
true.
A daily walk will actually do more for your aesthetics and more for your endurance than crushing yourself running every day.
More for your aesthetics?
Absolutely.
You think so?
Every single bodybuilder, old school bodybuilder, that's all I did was 2 hours of walking.
Really?
Yeah, none of this none of this interval training.
You've really studied the bodybuilders.
I've always been interested, even though I've never done it myself. I've always been interested in it. It's always it's so incredible. I mean, just anything in general with the body.
Yeah.
The fact that you can change how your body looks. Like you can literally change the structure of the cells just by what you eat and how you move.
What you eat is, that's huge
like
too.
How incredible is that?
Yeah. What you eat is a lot. It's a lot.
So how does that tie into living fit? Like what is, how would you consider yourself in terms of nutrition?
Well, I just, I thought he was going to run in front of the camera. I was like, oh no.
Like legit, this guy ran. If I turn this camera around, you will see a mile of beach. And this dude ran within
2 inches
of the camera. Like not even inches.
I know, this is probably one of the biggest beaches in California. All of California.
I was watching him come and I'm like, nah, he's gonna go around. And that's not, is he gonna go between us and the camera?
The other day, someone ran right through it and I was like, what? Do you not
see? It's real life. That's the thing. I'm not even gonna edit this out. That's real life. That's how this works. So for your nutrition.
Okay, for my
obviously
nutrition.
A fit person. You look fit.
Oh, we talked about
this.
At least on the outside. Yeah, it's true. It could be a facade. Maybe I'm skinny fat or something, right? But we talked about this the other day. How I just recently, I guess in the last 6. Well, I guess it's already September. That's 9. All right, 9 months ago, I added.
Just the other
day. Feels like it with quarantine, but 9 months ago, I added meat back into my diet.
That's right, you were vegan for a long time.
I was vegan, yeah. So, I'm like, what else do I say about it? I'm like, where do I even begin? My mind just got boggled for a second.
How long were you vegan?
So I was vegan for about almost a year, maybe a little less than a year. And at first it was really fun because it's a lot of carbs. So it's like pancakes and fruit and fruit smoothies and fruit bowls. And I traveled a bunch. So it's like you go to Bali and it's like the most gorgeous looking thing in a coconut bowl you've ever seen in your life. And it's like, yeah, it's gorgeous food and it's super yummy and tasty and everything. And I had fun. I mean, in LA too, there's tons of cool vegan spots. So it's like, there was like vegan sushi. I didn't even vegan sushi and cool? Vegan Italian and vegan. They're like, it was so fun. But then I felt horrible. I was like.
So for a year you felt horrible?
Well, I mean, I thought it was just my body. I thought it was just the way that I was. I had gut issues for a long time, ever since I was like in high school. And then it got like 10 times worse when I was vegan. My stomach was bloated all the time. I had really bad gas, really embarrassing gas. I have to admit, I even like would deny it a few times. Because it was so embarrassing and so foul. I was like, I can't even admit to this right now. But it was really bad and really bloated. And it was getting in the way of my life, and it would hurt a lot.
How'd you last a year of doing that then?
Because I had gut issues for a long time, and I thought, and I was trying to do everything. I was trying to do, I would massage it, and then I would do yoga poses. I would take the peppermint, I would do the turmeric, all the anti-inflammatory. Like, I was trying to do all the things, and then probiotics, digestive enzymes. I went to go see doctors, and they were like, have more fiber, all these things. So I was like yeah, I know. So I was like in the process of, let me see how I can heal my gut, but it's tricky because the whole time I was thinking, oh, but I'm eating the most healthiest way. This is supposed to be the healthiest way. This is what everyone's saying. Eat whole foods, eat your veggies, eat this, So I'm like, yeah. And anyway, so I did all that. And then one day I finally just got like, I snapped out of it. It was weird. It was like, and I do have to say, like, my boyfriend now was like an influence, and he was like, he was eating meat, and I smelled it, and I was like, that smells and looks. He was eating brisket. It smells pretty good. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, I really want to bite. I really want to bite. And I felt like so shameful and all the things, And then I remember we were out, and then he's like, well, have a bite. And I was like, is anyone looking, because we were out. He's like, no one is watching you.
And then the next day you see just stories of yourself. Jacquelyn, eating meat. She's a liar.
I know. I was like, oh my God. I was like, is anyone watching? And then I had a bite, and I felt like it was over after that. I was like, I need more. I was like, I want more. But I was eating all the time. I could tell I wasn't satisfied. I was even having really bad teeth problems. I was getting like an immense amount of cavities. I had like 3 pop up in that year, and I had never had cavities before. So my gut is, oh my gosh, the way I eat now is 1,000 times better. I feel so much, I don't need to eat all day. That's the biggest thing. I don't need to eat from morning till night, because I'm eating nutrient dense foods that are fulfilling me and satisfying me and feeding me. Like, my period has gotten regular, my acne has gone away, like a lot of things.
It's interesting just seeing people or hearing of people's experience with these different things, whether it's vegan, whether it's carnivore, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And how different bodies react, and how different bodies like thrive, and literally some will just decay on certain diets.
Yeah.
I had similar situation with vegan, where I was vegan for about 4 or 5 years almost, and then just started eating meat actually the beginning of this year as well.
Wow, yeah.
But now I've gone back where I'm like, I feel so much better not being on meat. So the way I tweaked it was cutting back on certain things, cutting back on fat, adding more carbohydrates, adding more fiber, taking out all protein supplementation, and for me, like, that feels perfect.
Yeah.
But if I have meat, like, I'm not opposed to it. So I think that's where I think people get so caught up in, like, you are this. Going back to when we started this.
Yeah.
You're a yoga person. How are you as a yoga person? How much yoga do you? It's like, no, you don't have to be that thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you gotta find what works for your body. I think a lot of women are really scared of fat and scared of that protein. And I think if you can get processed foods out of your diet, you can get vegetable oils out of your diet.
I think just drink vegetable oil?
Huh?
You don't do like a post-workout vegetable oil?
No.
Canola oil shake?
No, but you see canola oil in Whole Foods.
Everything.
And people think, oh, it's Whole Foods, so it's it must be healthy. So it's not healthy at all. Like, if there's one thing you can walk away with, it's just like, read the labels, look for all the vegetable oils, get that out of your diet, and now, like, because I started my own group nutrition program, like, for weight loss and de-bloating, and it's amazing. Like, I've been able to help women, like, just really understand their bodies, take control of their bodies, lose weight, and de-bloat themselves, because after a while you feel like, oh, this is just how my body is, and you think that you're broken, and you're not broken. Like, you can always fix it and always change it. So
it's incredible to me how many people walk around feeling or looking a certain way, thinking that's just how it is.
Yeah.
Or how many clients I would have where they would come in and they just thought it was natural to always be gassy, or to always have back pain, or to always
joint pain.
Certain. Yeah, they just thought, like, oh yeah, that's just how it is. Or they thought, like, at a certain age, I can't get into shape. Like, I'm over 40. Like, I'm stuck.
Yeah.
No, It's terrible.
Yeah, and that's a false belief that you believe, and it's like it's a lie. That's what you got to like really think about in your brain, like, what am I choosing to believe right now? If you can find an example that doesn't justify what you believe, right? You say, well, I'm over 40 now. It's like, okay, well, do you know any 40-year-olds who are fit, or I've seen them like bounce back or so, right? If you can find one example that's the opposite of what you believe, then you know that you're believing a lie, like 100%.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Find someone that embodies what the opposite of what you believe, and then there you go. You just got proven wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, you can keep justifying like, well, they have good genetics, or they have. You
could. Then that's
find another one.
Yeah, that's what you say. They're arguing for your limitation. Then you keep arguing for you to stay exactly where you are, in pain, out of shape. Your body's like just degenerating, all those things. So if you want to keep arguing for that, then that's your choice.
And I would have clients like that where they would continue arguing, and then you realize what was happening. They just didn't want to make the change.
Yeah.
They were content being complaining.
Yeah, I know. So it's like, you just gotta sometimes it's just on autopilot. So you just gotta, maybe you're listening to this and thinking of something that you believe right now that that you realize like, oh yeah, you know what? I've been listening to my own BS for a while, and we all do that. I do that, and I have to catch myself, and we just have to be constantly, catching ourselves and aware of that. And that's where yoga is really powerful, and like just taking that time to be quiet. It's not a time to all of a sudden your thoughts are going to disappear and you're going to be enlightened. Like, I think that's what people think is going to happen, but it's actually time for you to like listen to what you're saying and listen to those thoughts, and like, just kind of zoom out and be the observer of your thoughts, and just notice what you're saying to yourself, about yourself, to yourself every single day.
Going back to your dancing, when you were dancing, I know you still like to dance. Like, what are your thoughts when you're dancing?
Yeah, so that's interesting, because when I'm dancing, there isn't much room to think. And so I think that's what I loved about it, is it was a moving meditation where I was so present in the moment. I mean, when I was a Laker girl, it's like you get out into the court, it's such a rush, and you're just moving and dancing and looking out, and we practiced these routines so many times that it was like ingrained in our body. You're just like, your body's just moving and you don't even really know how anymore, because it's just muscle memory after a while, because you do it so many times. I mean, we rehearse like crazy, and so sometimes I would catch myself thinking like, wow, this is pretty cool. Like, this is
in the middle of the floor,
yeah.
Up at the stadium.
I'm like, this is, wow.
You're not thinking like,
really
what did I forget at the store? Oh, what do I got to do tomorrow?
No, it's like I'm fully present, and it was addicting to me. And I think when I stopped dancing professionally, it was like I missed that, and I got actually really depressed. And so I had to find a way to get myself to have that experience more throughout the day. So, working out or meditating or just bringing it into like a walk, a walk or surfing, right? That's why I think I love surfing so much, because it forces me to be super present in the moment. Because if I'm left to my own thoughts, I will go crazy,
I think that's good advice though for anybody. Find the thing that helps you kind of lose track of time. So whatever that thing is, obviously in the fitness world, you can do that in other ways like drawing, painting, whatever.
Right.
But in the fitness world, find the thing that will keep you fit, but helps you lose track of time. Yeah,
just helps you be fully immersed in time, because like it's just like what I realized we only have right now. We only have here. Like, change happens now, your life happens now. Our thoughts, anxiety is just being in the future. You're just trying to think of it or control the future, which we can't do. And usually frustration is trying to like change something in the past, which we also can't do. So just being fully immersed in the now and really enjoying it, like enjoying every single moment. And so it's like finding workouts that you do enjoy, finding joy in that. And so, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but.
No, it was a good positive rant. That was good.
Yeah.
Gets people fired up to
yeah.
now. No, I mean, it's so true. I think that's what does attract so many people to yoga and to movement, is that you do get into that movement. I mean, for me, I love kettlebell flow because that gets me into the movement, into the moment. I can't think of other things while I'm swinging a weight around my body.
Yeah.
So for someone who's brand spanking new, has never done yoga, thinks yoga's for hippies because they're 70 years old apparently and live in Arkansas. I don't know. But for someone like that who just hasn't done yoga, what would you recommend them? How would you recommend them to get introduced to just movement in general?
I mean, I have my app. I would recommend my app 100%. Because
and what is that app
it's
called?
Amazing. My Stretchy Fit app. And
there's that one dude, because we did a workout together, and that one guy tags us every now and then. Older gentleman, older Asian man.
Oh, Eddie.
I love that guy. I see his posts because he tags us, and I'm like, this guy's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming he's been on your app for like since the beginning.
Yeah, he has been. He's very dedicated since it's like about 2 years ago, or a year and a half I started it. Yeah. So yeah, he's 100% dedicated. But it's a great way because I have beginner classes in there and I have more advanced classes. Plus I do a live workout every week with my group in our private community, and you have a schedule to follow. So I think one of the biggest things for when you're first starting out, it's like, well, where do I start? So it's like, well, you can just start right here on day one and follow the schedule every single day. And that's like, then it'll teach you everything that you need to know and get you familiar with it. And that's what a lot of my students say, like, oh my gosh, I was able to do your app, and then it gave me confidence to finally walk into a yoga studio, because it can feel really intimidating. I mean, if you have one that's open, to just go and do that. Like same thing with like Pilates or whatever. But I think when first starting out, we're really self-conscious, but I would just have to say no one's looking at you, and no one cares. They're all so obsessed with themselves of like, what do I look like? They don't know.
I wish I had realized that at a younger age. And
I know, me
had someone older
too.
tell me that, and I'm like, get out of here. But it's like, if you realize the fact that they don't care, and the people who are super judgy, if you got into their thoughts, you would realize
my gosh,
how judgmental they are on themselves.
Yeah.
How hard they are on themselves. You'd be like, man, I don't care about what you think.
Yeah, their judgments are really just their own judgments. It's like, can you imagine being in their head? No.
So that's a good takeaway as well. Lose that fear. Go into, try something new. Don't be afraid.
Well, yeah, and being a beginner again is so, it's great for your brain. It's like one of the best things for Alzheimer's, because it's like you have to use a different part of your brain. You're trying to connect different parts of the brain. So it's one of the best things you could do. I love being a beginner. That's why I started learning how to surf, because it was like, oh, this is fun to like start from the beginning. Yeah, where do I begin? So you got to just find that excitement in it, and who knows where you'll end up. Maybe you'll end up doing a handstand you never thought you could. So
handstand training 101. Just do a bunch of stuff and maybe you'll be able to do handstand. I like that. Just go into something, be excited about it. And that's why I enjoy talking to you, because you are always excited about things. You're always trying new things, but you still have consistency. And I think people kind of see those as either or. Like you're either doing the same thing all the time and seeing results, but it's boring, or you're trying different things all the time and you're never really getting better at something, but it's fun. So being able to blend those two, I think you do really well.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. I'll receive that.
I will accept that. Well, that's awesome. Man, this has been really good. I mean, how can you not? I feel like we just
well, like when I did the kettlebell with you, that was like, I don't really know kettlebells that well. And it was like so fun to be a beginner with you and like learn how to do that. And then like you said before, it's like, when you are swinging it around, like you have to be completely immersed in it. And it's like, because you don't want to like accidentally like break your nose, I don't know why that was my biggest fear of doing it. It was like, what if I just like, I always think of Clueless. You're like, that line in Clueless where like, I can't do any activities where balls fly in my nose.
That's kind of how I live my life. I don't like things going in my nose. So I like to end these with this question. What is your idea, and we can keep talking for like another hour, but what is your idea of living fit? What does living fit mean to you?
Living fit, I think like what we said before the camera started rolling was, or was it rolling secretly, trying to
blackmail us some information. So.
Well, it's like taking responsibility, because your health is in your hands. It's your responsibility to keep yourself healthy. We are, we're fitness enthusiasts, so we're going to do everything we can to motivate you. But ultimately, you have to be the one to show up and be there for yourself. And, to be your best cheerleader, to cheer yourself on, to be positive, to want it for yourself. So I think just taking 100% responsibility 100% of the time is living healthy or living fit. And yeah, it's a big choice. I think once you choose into that of 100% responsibility 100% of the time, it's like, okay, wow, all right, so it's all up to me, you know. And so, but we're going to be here to support you, to cheer you on too, to motivate you, to think of new ideas, right? We're always trying to think of like new things to give you, to keep you entertained and all that stuff. So yeah, I think that's what Living Fit is.
I love that, responsibility. No one's used that one. So, I mean, in this time right now, so if it's, let's say it's been 500 years and you find this video and you're like, what was happening at that time? Well, we are in the middle of a pandemic. We're coming out of it seems. But it was a perfect opportunity to show people your health is in your hands. Like, no one's coming to save you.
Right.
And to be prepared, because you don't know. I mean,
exactly. That is true.
We didn't know how this thing spread and all that, but we did know if you were a healthy, strong person, you were less likely to be affected by it.
That's true.
So just as a,
to just instill a little bit of fear in you.
It was all positive until now we're going to instill the fear.
You never know what's going to happen, so be prepared for an apocalypse at any given moment.
That's true.
Actually, that was part of my inspiration of working on my pull-ups. I was like, what if I'm going to have to run and climb a wall? Or something like that.
A survival tactic. I mean,
yeah.
Every person should have the ability to at least perform one pull-up. Because you have to be able to pull yourself up over something.
Yeah. That's what I honestly thought. I was like, what if I have to run and climb a wall and get out and save myself?
Not anybody else. What if I had to save myself? No, I think that, I mean...
Not anybody else.
I think tying your mobility and being able to move well, that's a huge part of it too. Think about how many people hurt themselves just doing the basic things, let alone doing something super strenuous or super taxing on their body.
Yeah, and be able to like be flexible enough, which I've never had a problem with, but to swing the leg over, right? Eventually you'll be like, okay, gotta swing the leg over. So you gotta be able to
use your hands.
Yeah, you gotta
swing your legs.
You gotta use the mobility of the leg. So make sure you're flexible as well.
So be accountable. You're responsible for your health. Be able to do a pull-up.
So you can climb a wall.
Be flexible enough to bring your foot over your head. That sounds good. So you already said your app. Where is the best place to find you? Where can we find you?
Instagram is the best place to find me. That's where I'm like, doing stories every day, keeping you updated on what I'm doing every single day. So Instagram, Action Jacquelyn, and then also my YouTube. I've been posting on there once a week, and then you can search for my app, Stretchy Fit app. And then also my group coaching program, which is called Heal My Gut.
Awesome. Well, thank you so freaking much for this. I really appreciate your time. I know you are a very busy person just with all the things that you do and all the people that you help. So I appreciate your time. Appreciate being able to come out into the beach. I mean, it's been a rough day coming to the beach and interviewing. And
I know I keep playing with the sand. I just love the way it feels. It's been rough.
Back to being a kid, just sitting in the sand. I can't even tell you how many times I have not wanted to sit in the sand. And she was like, yeah, we'll just sit in the sand. I'm like,
oh, really? You didn't tell me that?
It's cool. We'll do that. But it hasn't been bad until I stand up and I find sand for the next 2 weeks. But anyway, this has been an episode of the LivingFit Show. And again, we had the incredible Jacquelyn Umof, and you can catch all her information where we already said. So we'll see you on the next one. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Hey, for more interviews like that, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, if you're looking for not only those interviews, but follow along programs, exercise breakdowns, workouts, nutrition plans, and fitness equipment for your fitness results, make sure you hop on to living.fit, become a member today, and I'll see you on the next one.